Hey, how's it going? What does it really mean to not be results focused? It's a good one. I've had some conversations and interactions and discussions, and yeah, it's interesting because I say 80% process and 20% results, right? So, and to me, it's like, oh, it just makes sense, right? It's just most of the time I'm thinking about my process goals. I just did a video on process goals. It already is out. You can go back and look at it. I think that's the title, Process Goals. So it's a podcast just like this. I'm sitting down. I think I'm wearing a pink shirt. And yeah, it just goes over process goals. And some of the process goals I have are like, instead of like a result, I'm looking for a volume, right? So like I play to sort of hit a certain number of shots or hours of play per week or whatever, okay? And that's assuming that when I'm playing that I'm effective with my training, right? And then I have other process goals like being joyful and being present and locking in on the ball and all these things that I talked about in that video. Okay, so, and I talk about in that video, just as a recap, when I do my processes, okay, if I do those things as a byproduct, meaning as a result of doing those things, I will have improvement in my game. And as a byproduct of improving steadily in my game, I will have better results. Okay, so I let results kind of take care of themselves. And I understand that my best results come when I am in this process mindset and I'm doing these process things. So does that mean that I don't care about results? No, it doesn't mean that I don't care about results. When I train 50-80. So I have 10 balls, I got them all numbered. You know, I hit a shot and it's like they hit on the end rail and the side rail. I get a 70%, let's say, and I hit 2 on the thick rail and 1 on the thin rail. And then I take that information, the results of the shooting, and then I assess, and then I advise myself. Well, I see that, and a lot of times it looks like this, right? And I assess and I advise and I look at it and say, okay, I missed early, and then I made one, and then I missed again, and then I pulled it all together and got 60%. So I went to 6 through 10 and didn't miss. So I assess, okay, I had little problems early. I have a tendency to go to the thick side, and now when I do it again, I'm going to try to have it look more like this, where I improved, and I have less misses on the thick side, right? And I'm going to run 10 again and see if I can have it be improved. And it's like, that is a result, right? I'm looking for improvement. So I'm trying to assess and advise so that I can have improvement. I can have a better result, but I'm not tied up in it. You know, if it ends up looking like this in the next round, I would be shocked. And then I would look back and say, okay, so how did I do worse with the same shot? And then likely I'd say, man, I got completely distracted of life's events and not thinking and just completely like thinking about something else. And I'm like, okay, so let me run it back and try it again and see if I can get it to look like this or something, you know? And so I am thinking about the data and the result of what I'm doing, but it's just to try to help me regulate or trying to assess where I'm at mentally. Sometimes it could be biomechanics. I could look at this and it could look like this, right? And I could look back and say, okay, this information is important because it shows that I'm succeeding at a 70% rate. But then I can look back at my misses and say, well, what was it? Was it biomechanics? Was I not locked in? Was I flinching? Was I behind the cue ball? Was it mental? You know, where I was, like I said before, all that stuff. So I am looking at the result of my training, but it's more for like data for me to make adjustments and to learn, right? Same with, I do this training because I want to see if it looks like this ever, right? Because this shows me that I started getting nervous at the end, and I want to know that information, right? And And so I need that data, I need those results to sort of give me my feedback. Now, do I get like wrapped up into it? This is unacceptable and I'm not going into the house until it's 100%? And no, because I don't use negative reinforcement to build my game and to encourage me. I use positive reinforcement. So again, I pay attention to the results, but the results are sort of a data point for me. And most of the time I'm focused on process, right? So it can sound like I don't care about the results, and most of the time I don't, right? Like if a student calls me and says, I did this and I beat that person and I got this, it's important to know that information, okay? So if a student texts me and says, I'm a 50 rate or a 45 rate and I played a 65 rate and I beat them, that's important information for me. Part of it's important because lulz, you won, I'm happy, we're all happy, it's cool. And that would probably be an indicator of improvement. But that's kind of where it stops and starts, I think, is that, okay, this is what I meant from like that information. With that information, I'd be curious to know more than just the score. I'd be curious to know, how did you feel during that match? Did you feel less anxious? Did you feel more connected to the ball, even though you were playing a higher rated player? Like those are the things that I'm truly interested in. Like, how was your strategy? Were you able to stick to a strategy that worked? Is that what caused you? How was your understanding of biomechanics, physics, geometry, your mental game? How did those things play out? It's more than just the score. The score can be like an indication that you're feeling good, because you could be like, well, I've never beat a 75 before as a 45. I've never won that match. It's like, well, that is important information and that is a great result, and it's important to have that data of the win, because then that would mean that there's probably growth, right? But at the same time, what if the person, like, I'm not trying to diminish anything, but I'm saying, well, what if they had the worst game of their night? It's like there's context, right? It's like, and not to take away anything, it's just to look at it and to assess what's going on, right? So it's more than just the result. It's how did you feel? What were they doing? How did it work out, right? Because otherwise, it's like, if I went up to Derby, no, I went up to the US Open. I'll tell you a story. Sometimes you guys like stories. I went up to the US Open with a guy at the time, and it was funny because we both played pretty decent, and we'd played a lot together. And we get in the car, we drive out to the US Open, and this is back in the day. This is a while ago, back when it was even before Matchroom and Barry was alive, and he was running it in that conference room in Virginia, and I draw a guy from Seattle who was a much better player than me at the time. So it was a tough draw for me. And I'm sitting there and I'm playing him. And the US Open was very new to me at this time too. This is maybe the second year I'd gone out, maybe third, I don't know, second or third. It wasn't trapezoiding table. I did a video about that before, where it was so like messed up on my first US Open. I couldn't even get the table. The table did not look square. And so now I'm 2 or 3 years into it, and now the table looks square, but I definitely was like completely like I did not feel like this was going to be a opportunity. I'm going to try my hardest, but this guy was a better player than me. So I get there and we're playing, and it was a money match. Okay, so it was worth $1,000. I think if I won it, it pushed me forward 1,000. If I would have lost it, I would have winner side, loser side, and maybe I would have had to win a match, or else I was guaranteed 500 or something. But anyways, I in my mind, I think it was like $1,000 match, right, against a better player in the US Open. So I'm in the, and I'm new to playing in these events. So I'm sitting there, and I think it was like 1-1 or something. And I look over, and the guy falls out of his chair. he has a stroke. Okay. And I call over to the people, and there's rush, and they freaking ambulance, and they bring him out, and the match is over, and I win the match from forfeit, and I advance, and I win. I get $1,000, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I was so ready to try to fight and try to see how I could do in the match, and he just has a stroke, and I win the match. And I guess the point is that it was funny because later when we were getting ready to leave, I went over and watched the guy I was with, and he had a close match against a player that he could win against. He was probably a better player than the guy, and he loses the match. And then he's mad, right? He's mad because he's a results guy and everything, and he's mad. And so he says later, this is all to tell this story about what his line that he dropped on me. He's like pissed. He's pissed, and he's sneering at me, and he says, "Well, your guy had a stroke," like, because I might have said like, "Well, I have to go get ready for my match or whatever," and he just was like, he was totally like, "Well, you wouldn't even be winning if your guy didn't have a stroke." It was just the funniest thing to say. Your guy had to have a stroke for you to win. It was like so dismissive and mean, and I'm like, I can't help it. My guy had a stroke, and that you lost your match, and like you thought you should have won, and you probably should have won, and it's like, I'm sorry, man. It's like, my guy had a stroke. What am I gonna do? Oh, I don't even know why I told that story. It was just how much like vitriol he had that my guy had a stroke, and it was just funny. I don't know. Maybe you had to be there, but so anyways, there's context, right? So if I went back and said, I beat this guy and I cashed in the US Open and whatever, it's like, it's like, well, my guy had a stroke. I mean, that's what happened. Like, I didn't play great in that match. So I felt sheepish about it, whatever, and it's fine. It was fine, and he's fine. I think I've seen him since, and he was totally fine. But it was sad situation. But it was just it was like a thing. I don't know if he had a stroke or if it was like a narcoleptic thing or some sort of something, but it wasn't anything devastating. It was just a weird one-off thing. So okay, so if your guy is not going to have a stroke, then you just have to deal with what's going on in the game. So, yep. So that's it. I totally forgot what this video is even about. I don't know. I guess, it's about the difference between results and process, right? So the result is important. It's important from a data standpoint. It's important from a we're human standpoint. It's important. I want to get good scores on my drills, my shots, not my drills, whatever. I want to do good things. Like, I want to run a bunch of racks in league. I want to run a bunch of racks when I'm doing videos. I want to shoot well on my videos for you guys. So I have these desires, I want to do well in Derby. I want to be more prepared. I want to probably be more present. I want to be more locked in. Like, these are, more process goals, but because I want those because I want to do better. So that's it. So it's like, I want to do well and have results just like everybody else, but I understand for me, and it's just for me, that when I focus on this process and doing well on my process, the byproduct of that is that I will learn and do well and be in this good spot and play better and have better results, okay? So then I'll just add one last thing to the end of it, and the whole thing about results mean nothing and they mean everything, in that they mean nothing until they do mean something. Meaning, like, I don't really care about how I'm doing, but if I do something spectacular, I appreciate it, and it has meaning to me, and I'm happy about it. And what I'm saying is, it's almost like a defensive back in the NFL. Like, they say they have you need to have like the shortest memory in the world to play D-back, in the NFL. Because you're going to get burned a bunch. You just got to shake it off, let it go, and go back on the line. And I think that is true for pool. I think you just have to have a really short memory. And it's like, The shorter your memory can be, the quicker you can get over missing a ball or hitting a bad cue ball shot, the faster you're going to get back in the game and be effective. So that's another meta reason or benefit of not putting so much focus on results and more on the process, because I'm not so focused on the result. I'm able to make a mistake and get back in the game faster, right? Because I have acceptance and I'm just like, yeah, it's no problem. It's part of the game. It's like I just have a short memory. And then also, I can be excited when things are going well. Like I have energy. So when I was at leagues and I started running racks the other night, a couple weeks ago, as I got up into the 2, 3, 4 rack range, I started getting more not more interested, but I understood where I was at. I understood the meaning and purpose and value of running 5 to finish out the set. So I was locked in, I was excited, but it was more from a position of joy and interest and excitement and focus than it was shitting my pants, nervous, I don't want to ruin this situation by negative. It was way more positive. So some of the things that I'm teaching and talking about by doing this byproduct and dropping down the results to 20 and the process to 80 is that we become in this habit of playing joyfully and being more positive, and then being able to handle situations, even when they're good situations, when things are going good, we can handle it better. And when things are going bad, we can handle it better. So, all right. So that was a long video. I even lost my way, given your guy had a stroke story. So maybe you guys like that one, maybe you don't. But anyways, okay, that's it. I am a results guy, and I am concerned about results. And when you guys, train with me, my desire is to have you guys improve and get better. And when people send me messages, I did great in leagues, or a guy in the comments said, I learned a bank shot and I used it in my tournament and I won money off of it. I'm like, this is exciting for me. I love it. I love it. I love it. I don't sit there and say, I don't care. I'm above results. No, I love to hear the results. It's just, I just look at them as a data point, right? And it's cool. That's it. So hopefully this makes sense. I don't know. Yeah. See you on the next one. I love you guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye.